Celebrity Cruises just dropped their brand new 2027 and 2028 cruises for Alaska and Hawaii. Hey, I'm Mark with Digital Romads. What just dropped, what you may want to get booking based upon what's officially available right now. So just released was Alaska and Hawaii for 2027. They're going to release the full Australia and New Zealand schedule, and we expect that to go into 2028. But there were some great cruises announced, the Alaska season, Hawaii, and even some Trans-Pacific opportunities. In 2027, you're going to see the Celebrity Edge, the first in the Edge class, the Celebrity Solstice, benefiting from a $250 million refurbishment program, and the classic Celebrity Summit in the Alaskan waters. You've got round trips out of Seattle, Vancouver, even a one-way from Seward. You'll absolutely get the glacier experience, including Dawes Glacier and Hubbard Glacier. There's also the opportunity, like you see a lot from Holland America and Princess, to do cruise tour extensions. So you can do your cruise and then go on land and by train and get into Denali and the interior of Alaska as well. That's another great opportunity to extend your cruise. Now, I wanted to share with you some of the unique cruises in 2027 and ones you may want to consider booking sooner than later. So probably the most family-friendly are going to be, summer round trips out of Seattle on the Edge class, right? Because that's going to be a multi-generational ship. Everybody should be happy, and you definitely get some great glacier viewing. If you're looking for more of that one-way, the more special sailings, look at the Celebrity Solstice and their Vancouver to Seward sailing they have. And if you're a photographer, this is going to be the one for you. There's also some short samplers on the Celebrity Solstice. So it's not every day where you can actually go for less than the week, but you've got some 5-night experiences as well in May 2027. Those of you who are into glaciers definitely want to go out of Vancouver on the Celebrity Summit, and you get the Hubbard Glacier. Don't forget, there'll be repositioning. The cruise ships will go from Alaska towards Hawaii and then the South Pacific. So you've got some neat ones on repositioning cruises, including on the Celebrity Solstice. You've got a 15-night Fiji Trans-Pacific. That would be truly an epic journey available to you as well. So let's cover some specific sailings that stood out, for instance, on the Celebrity Edge, September 2027. What I like about this is you get away from the peak of the summer. If you're looking for less kids on board, this would be a great opportunity for that. It's super convenient because it's Seattle round trip. You get Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, the classic stops. You also get the Inside Passage, a quick stop in Victoria, and some glacier sailing in Endicott Arm before returning to Seattle on a really nice 7-night round trip on a great ship on the Edge. If you book now, you're going to have the best availability. The best deals happen in bookings now. Pricing almost always, 95% of the time, ends up going higher over time. Another unique one here is the Celebrity Solstice starting in Vancouver and heading up to Seward. More of an unusual sailing for Celebrity. We don't see this one very often. And this one, you do get the Inside Passage. You get Ketchikan, Sitka, which is another place they don't typically stop. Icy Strait Point, again, another more unique stop as well. Juneau, Hubbard Glacier, and then you end up in Seward, where if you want to go ahead and do the extensions into Denali, this is the cruise for you. So this is one, May 7th, 2027, on the refurbished Celebrity Solstice. I think this is going to be a really popular sailing. You can also flip the direction, so you can always go up earlier, do Denali, and then come back from Seward to Vancouver and leave on May 14th. Do the glaciers first, then the Inside Passage, and then finish in Vancouver, and then you can spend a few extra nights in an amazing city in Vancouver. Now, there are some 5-night experiences in May, so Celebrity Solstice again. You'll be the first to kind of enjoy that, one of the first. Leave out of Vancouver, you still get the Inside Passage, so plenty of amazing scenery. You get Ketchikan, a day at sea, and then Victoria before returning back to Vancouver. If you're looking for the glacier experience, another one here on the classic Celebrity ship, the Summit, round trip out of Vancouver, so easy to get to, a great place to spend a little bit of time before or after. You get the glaciers, the Inside Passage, Skagway, Juneau, and in this case, early July. There are some other dates as well. Now, a little bit later, September 5th, coming out of the summer, maybe a little less busy in the places that you go. This one, again, on the classic Celebrity Summit, another round trip out of Vancouver. A few different stops. This one, you do get Icy Strait, Juneau, Ketchikan, and of course, you always want to have that scenic cruising that is essential to any Alaskan cruise. Celebrity does a great job overall. We typically suggest the all-in package where you get your classic beverage package, you get your Wi-Fi, you get 100% refundable deposits, which is really nice. That can be a big advantage, especially when booking into 2027. We can help you with cruises to Alaska, Hawaii, or anywhere. Go to the link you see on the screen or just flash that QR code, and myself or Monica will personally get back to you with a customized quote and free information to help you make the best decision on these Celebrity sailings or any other major cruise line. So let's talk a little bit about Hawaii. We've got an 8-night out of Honolulu to Vancouver. This is in May, finishing up the repositioning from Australia. You can also do that in April 2027, come out of Australia, get to Hawaii, and continue on from Hawaii to Vancouver. You could back to back and do an Alaska cruise as well. This would be a nice 8-night from Honolulu to Vancouver. You get multiple days at sea, Honolulu at the start, a stop for 2 days and overnight basically in Kona before you arrive in Vancouver. And I think that's a perfect opportunity to consider doing a back-to-back on the edge when you get to Vancouver, and then do early season Alaska, which will have less crowds. If you don't want a lot of kids on board, that would be a really good time to do it. You could put it all together if you wanted. You go Sydney, Honolulu, Vancouver, and up into Alaska if you want the ultimate cruise. Now, we expect end of the month, from when I'm recording this anyway, for Celebrity to announce their full schedule for Australia and New Zealand 2027 and 2028. So that'll be an exciting time. We'll definitely have a video on that. Of course, sailing in New Zealand, Australia, or both is an amazing experience. They have some pretty nice 7 to 14-day cruises. As soon as those are out, we will share that with all of you, expecting up to 33 different destinations across the South Pacific region. It should be a really great schedule, and even spending some longer times in ports. Just to give you a little tease, there are some sailings out for the beginning of 2027. We'll see later 2027 and 2028 in this new announcement, but you can get some ideas here on the screen. This is a New Zealand cruise. Speaking of scenery, like you get in Alaska, this is also on the Celebrity Edge, so that great ship. You get to cross the Tasman Sea. You get to see the fjords, Milford, Doubtful, Dusky Sounds, Dunedin, North Island exploration, Bay of Islands before you return to Sydney. This is a 12-nighter from February 2027, still available. The weather there should be quite nice, getting towards later in the summer. Another one here is an 11-night. This is in March, so the weather's even better. Kids are back in school, even in New Zealand and Australia. This is very similar to one that I just shared, but even more of a wine focus. You get into the wine region in New Zealand, lots of potential wildlife encounters. So again, I mean, think about these Alaska sailings, these New Zealand sailings, these Australia sailings. These are ones that people really start to do many times after, getting experience on a cruise in the Caribbean or the Mediterranean. Don't forget these regions of the world, especially if you're doing the long flight. You may as well spend some time once you're there and get the full experience. Celebrity Edge, this is also early spring in this case, and this one goes out of Sydney. You get quite a bit here from Tasmania, more exotic, Kangaroo Island, which has 200 plus species on it. You get the wine country as well. We've done a cruise just like this before, where we did Australia and New Zealand, including these regions. We went down into Tasmania, and that was great. There's many wine regions, so if that's your thing, you're definitely going to love an experience like this. The weather probably is cooling down by this point in this part of the world, so if you don't want to experience the hot summer in Australia, which it's definitely going to be in December and maybe even into January, this would be one to consider. And again, you get to be on the great Celebrity ship as well. And then, of course, you've got these repositioning. So if you want to come back from the South Pacific in the spring of 2027, you can absolutely do this. This is one on the Celebrity Solstice. So get that refurbished ship, get a longer 15-nighter. This one comes out of Australia. If you do that long flight there, you get to return right in luxury and do it slowly. And you'll end up in Honolulu. You'll get 4 days at sea. You're going to Fiji, 2 stops in Fiji, 1 in American Samoa, another one after you cross the international date line in American Samoa. And then you really have to enjoy sea days. If you do, this one should speak to you before you end up in Honolulu, where you can spend a few nights. You can continue a back-to-back if you want. You can take the Solstice right away out of Honolulu, back up into the Pacific Northwest, and you can even back-to-back into an Alaska cruise as well. So you got a lot of options here with Celebrity in these regions. A few bits of advice before we wrap this up. The one-ways tend to sell pretty fast, faster sometimes than the round trips. A lot of times there's just not that many available. Those Vancouver to Seward and back, they tend to go quicker because they pair up with cruise tours. If you really want better weather, don't forget about September or late September. It's quieter, cooler. Sometimes it's more expensive in port. There's just less crowds. Ships are already leaving. So that could be a really nice opportunity. Don't forget the Celebrity Solstice, because it's going through this amazing modernization here next year. And they're going to be adding new eateries, new venues. So it's almost going to be like a new ship experience. And of course, if you want the Trans-Pacific, so there's really great repositioning opportunities. You can do segments of the whole thing or back-to-backs. So that's a lot of great opportunities. Be careful in peak booking windows for Alaska. The sooner you can book, the better. July and August tends to be the busiest, the most popular, of course, because of summer vacations. So just keep that in mind if that's the time that you have to go. If you can do shoulder season, you will find better pricing. So go ahead and watch the video you see on the screen. We cover more 2027 and 2028 sailings. Leave a comment down below which of these that I described here would be your favorite one to go to. Which one spoke to you the most on Celebrity or another cruise line if you're interested in this region. We'll check those comments down below and see you out there.